Hi friends, how are you? Fine. So where is the tiger? What has happened to Ray and his team? What happened to Mr. Thorat? Everyone failed, isn't it? You remember the five verbs that we used to describe the behavior of the tiger. So then sprang, then pranced, jumped, leapt and rolled about. Sprang, spring action, isn't it? And then leapt, is another one. Jump, another one. And then what else? Then prancing, looking like this. This is prancing and rolled about. Nothing to be done. So now today we will see what is happening in this section of this the textbook. In this section of the story, this can be a story, it can be considered as a story. So what happened is that they went back, they took some shots and then they went back. It calmed down, so to say. The tiger calmed down for some time and then they took some shots. They thought everything is over, fine, we are successful. They went back to Calcutta. When they looked at the scenes, there's nothing, only darkness. The tiger, the background, the leaves, etc., they merged. Merge means become one, merging. Now if you mix rice with the sand will merge with the rice. Isn't it? Merge. Become one. We will not know. It will take time for us to separate sand from the nice sand, not the one that we used by masons, but masons, not that, for building. Nice, like a sugar, you'll find. Understand that? So that is what happened. Nothing could be done. So again, the Ray is not a person to be defeated like that easily. So he contacted Mr. Thorat and Thorat said, all right, we will see once again. Let's do it again. We'll repeat. And then they found out nearby Calcutta there was a village. Not this time it is not in Gram, but it is nearby Calcutta. And there was a village, Boral. And that Boral village, near that village there was a bamboo forest. He said, okay, we will set the scene there, you come. So he went there with all the things required. The tiger, then the lorry, then the steel wire, and then the iron rod, all of the camp, and all those things, whatever required. But this time it worked very well, and they shot. So that is a second time. So this shows that you should not feel disappointed, when something fails for the first time. Say, first time you attempt, you fail. That doesn't mean, there is a famous saying, that is, failure is a stepping stone to success. So, cannot be applied not to everything. For example, you need not go and fail in the exam and say, then deliberately fail in the exam and say, failure is the stepping stone to success. No, not that way. If something goes wrong and fails, don't be disappointed. That is the lesson that we should learn. Okay, words here was merging, I told you, become one with. So I gave you the example of rice and sand, they merge. So difficult to separate them. Right? White sand and sugar, they merge. So you cannot, the white sand yours, merge this. To give it another go, to another chance. You'll have another chance of shooting. That is, to give it another go means. Could not afford, could not give. Afford means to give. I cannot afford to buy that because I don't have enough money to give, afford. I cannot afford to buy a BMW car. That's what I know. I think. There may be other cars, but this is what comes to my mind now. I cannot afford, means I don't have that capacity, purchasing capacity, buying capacity. I cannot afford. So in this case it is to give time. You cannot give time because the villagers were standing around and Ray and his team explained to them, please go. I stand at least 70 feet from here. And they said, no, we want to hear. And then Ray said, see, we have not time to explain to them all these things. Let them be there. So in that is the context that we will see when you read the text. Okay, is that all right? And then next is signal. Signal means to give signal. Stop. That is, you say like that, no? In films they say no. Action! They say action! That is. Then the action. So that is, I think it is clear now. We will see the simplified version of this section of the text. So here we have got the tiger calmed down. They took a few shots. They went back to Calcutta. They looked at the scenes. They found that the shots were too dark. They contacted Mr. Thorat. He agreed to help them. This time they found a bamboo forest in a village called Boral, near Calcutta. Mr. Thorat arrived ready with everything for shooting. The villagers also came and stood very close to the scene. They were asked to stand at a distance of 70 feet. They would not obey. Ray and his team got the camera ready and signaled to Mr. Thorat. So that's all. That I think it's very simple. It's a very simple sentences, and I think that you have followed. Already I have told you the gist of it. The main points I have already told you, and therefore I'm sure that you have followed the simplified version of it. Okay, fine. So take the text. Come on, let's read it. Once the tiger had calmed down, after this leaping, prancing, springing, jumping, and rolling, it calmed down. We managed to take the few shots we needed. We needed only one or two shots, just one frame. What is the frame? Do you remember? That is Guppy and Baga standing together. Then the tiger comes out. The tiger doesn't look at them. He takes a walk, looks at the camera and goes back. This is the scene. This should have been the end of the story. So we thought that, oh my God, it's over. So we took a few shots, that is enough. We have, all the way we came from Calcutta, 2 days of journey, and now, of course, it's all over. But when we returned to Calcutta and looked at the scenes with the tiger, we realized that we came to know that the camera had failed to work properly. Maybe the cameraman also, when he saw this jumping and leaping and prancing and springing and rolling, the cameraman also must have lost his sense. He had become unconscious, maybe half unconscious. So the camera did not work. What happened is that the shots were too dark. So much so that the tiger was merging almost completely with the background of the trees and leaves. So the tiger was merging, means that it could not distinguish which is the tiger, which is the tree, and which are the leaves. All one. All looked like one dark spot. But they cannot do. We had to shoot the scenes all over again. That one failure is not anything to be worried about or to be disappointed about. So we will try again. Think of the labor involved in this. Think of the enormous, huge labor involved in this. I had to bring the tiger and the lorry, bring them in a lorry, covering them, find out, they go to the spot there, and people will come. You have to take care of them, take the camera, the set, everything. Again, you have to do it, means it is really a terrible job. But we had to do it again. We spoke to Mr. Thorat and he agreed to give it another go. So Thorat said, okay, I'll Hello, Mr. Thorat, what happened is that day we failed racer. Why? Probably Thorat must have asked. See, it was darkness, nothing else. It looks like a dark spot where you have got the tiger, the trees and also the leaves all merging together. You cannot see anything clearly, distinctly. So what to do? And Mr. Thorat was a nice man. So he said, okay, I will come again, you don't worry. Now this time of course it's easy. We found another bamboo grove closer to Calcutta in a village called Boral. So this time we need not travel all the way from Calcutta to Notre Dame. But this time it is Boral, it's very near. So that means a few hours of journey. The lorry arrived once more with Mr. Thorat 1, the Tiger 2, the steel wire 3, the special collar 4 and the iron rod 5. So 5 things arrived. What is that? What are those things? Mr. Thorat came. It's the manager, I mean it's the ringmaster, the tiger in a cage. Or of course most probably transported by a lorry. The steel wire to connect the collar, the tiger collar and also the rod. Steel wire to control. Special collar made of tiger skin and the iron rod. I told you, iron rod. Iron rod means a pipe-like thing, but it is not empty, but it is a real iron. There is no empty space in that. Pipe you have got, you can see it's hollow. And that's why you call it pipe and water has to run through this. In this case, there is no need of any water running. So it has to be very hard. So an iron pipe. Iron rod, it is called iron rod. The other one is pipe. And with the lorry came the whole village. Because maybe for the first time they are seeing all these things, the villagers. We told the villagers that they should stand at a distance of 70 feet. Whole village, men, women, children, everyone. Then we said, you please go stand. Said, at least 70 feet distance, otherwise if something happens, what will we do? The tiger, last time we had an experience of the tiger jumping, rolling, prancing, springing and leaping. So please go. Then what happened is that no one paid any attention to what they were told. To pay attention to means to attend. You should all pay attention to my class. Don't sleep. You should attend my class. So they did not bother. Oh please, oh gentlemen, oh gentle ladies, oh children, please go away. They said. They stood there. They don't move. The entire crowd moved as close to the camera as they could. That is interesting. They came closer to the camera. They want to see what is happening, how is a film, how are they shooting a film, what are the things that they are doing and so on. They are very inquisitive. We are also like that now. First time in our life, in my life, I remember when I saw somebody said, see, an aeroplane. Then we were all looking like this. We wanted to go very near to that bird. We cannot go. We could not go because we are not birds now. We are not birds to fly and go there. So we are just looking, inquisitive. The entire crowd moved as close to the camera as they could. We could not afford to waste because we cannot, we did not have the time to waste here. We did not have, we could not afford. I can afford to buy means I have the money to buy. I cannot afford to buy means I don't have the money. So we could not afford means we don't have the time, we didn't have the time. We could not afford to waste any more time. Means we did not have time. Because, it's not a simple thing now. A tiger, we are playing with a tiger. Explaining and arguing. We stopped explaining and arguing. Oh, okay, let it happen. We will see. So we got the camera ready and signaled to Mr. Thorat. Camera is ready and everything. And then we said, Action! Action! Or simply what you said. That is signal, shown signal. So Mr. Thorat got ready. So in this section what is happening is that we have the experience of the Ray and his team. What happens? Their first attempt failed. They somehow managed to take some shots, but when they went back to Calcutta and looked, they found that there is nothing but darkness. So they had thought that they should do it again. Contacted Mr. Thorat. Thorat agreed. There was a village nearby. The name of the village was Boral. There was a bamboo grove, and on the day appointed means fixed. Mr. Thorat came with everything, whatever needed. Mr. Thorat came the tiger and the steel wire, the collar, and also iron rod, 5 things. So the villagers also came. The villagers were asked to move, they would not move. So then Ray said that we cannot afford to waste time. Means we don't have time to waste. And so when the camera was ready, he said, the signals. And most probably they will have shot the scenes. Let us see what happened. That we will see tomorrow. So time being, let's ask some questions to you. Okay? So how did they manage to take some shots? They managed to take some shots when the tiger calmed down. Very good. Good answer. Yes. First class. Isn't it? What did they think? They thought that that is the end of the story. Because they thought that fine, we got some shots. Isn't it? Wow. Actually what had happened, or what did they realize when they went back to Calcutta? When they went back to Calcutta and looked at the scenes, they found that the camera had failed. What did they find? They found only dark spots where the tiger, the trees and the leaves merged. That's what they saw. So, next question of course, was Mr. Ray disappointed? No, not at all. So Ray was not at all disappointed. He thought of taking the whole scene again, all over again. So what did he do? He contacted Mr. Thorat. How did Mr. Thorat react? Did he get angry? No, not at all. He said, we will give it another go. That means, where did they try their second innings, or we can say, innings is of course used with the cricket, but you can use it also, use it here also. The second trial, they found a bamboo grove in a village called Boral nearby Calcutta. So how did Mr. Thorat come? Mr. Thorat came with all the necessary things such as the iron rod, the steel wire, the collar, the tiger collar and the tiger. Without tiger there can be tiger collar. And how did the villagers react? The villagers were very inquisitive and they came and stood around as close as to the camera. Why did they come and stand like that? Because they were very curious to know what was going on. When the villagers disobeyed what Mr. Ray had told them to do, what did Mr. Ray do? He said, let them be there, what can we do? With these people, they are not listening to what we say. We cannot, actually what was his immediate reaction? We could not afford to give, to waste time. And so what did he do? When the camera was ready, he signaled Mr. Thorat. Why did he signal Mr. Thorat? For what? To open the cage of the tiger and let the tiger come out. And then what happened this time? That we will see tomorrow. I think it is clear now. The name of the village is Boral. Where is it? The name of the previous village was, the first village was Notungram. It was far away from Calcutta. Now this is very near to Calcutta, Bora. And then what else? The first attempt failed. Now the second attempt they are trying to make. So all of them, they come to Bora, and the people were standing around and said, helpless. Who is helpless? Mr. Ray. People are like that, They want to know what's going on. And they signal to Mr. Thorat, and Thorat must have naturally got the clue or what the signal was for. He knew, and he must have acted accordingly. That we will see tomorrow. Till then, bye.